The following questions relate directly to Chapter 9, which is all about security, computer security and the security of data and computer systems. So the first question here, viruses, farming and phishing are all examples of potential internet security issues. Explain what is meant by each of these three terms. So we just need an explanation of each. So the first thing about a virus, of course, we want to say that it is a sort of a program that copies or replicates itself. That's the key feature of a virus. That's a specific type of malware, and obviously a little bit more is needed here than just a description or a definition. It's program replication. So what can it do? It may delete files. It may encrypt data or files on the hard drive. It may crash the computer. It also may make it run slow. So those are given some examples of some of the things it may do. The next term, same again to explain, is farming. And this is malware or malicious code. So malicious code installed on the computer. And what this does is it redirects a user to a fake site, as in web site, with the intention of obviously harvesting personal information that can be used and sold on, with aim of harvesting certainly personal data, such as redirecting to a bank site and asking them to enter data that has some value that can be used to potentially gain further data or information or money. Next term is phishing. Phishing is generally done via electronic email. So this is emails that are emails sent with the aim to look legitimate, and of course this is similar to farming in the sense that the email contains links, a link or links to a fake website with the same intention as above, to harvest personal or financial data, so the same intention there. Now, the second part of this question talks about an online bank requires a client to supply an 8-digit code each time they wish to access their account on the bank's website. Rather than ask the client to use a keyboard, they are requested to use an on-screen keyboard shown on the right to input the 8-digit code. The position of the digits can change each time the website is visited. The client uses a mouse or touchscreen to select each of the 8 digits. The question is, explain why the bank has chosen to use this method of entering the 8 digits. So this is to avoid keylogging, spyware. So they're not in the same place on the screen, each same position. So to avoid keylogging, malware that may have been installed accidentally or through some purpose. And also, of course, the numbers on the keypad they're not in a standard format. So, but as numbers, as we mentioned, are not in a standard format. They're not 1, 2, 3 along the top, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's numbers are not uniformly presented or presented as expected. They're random. They are randomized. So that's the key points for that question. Question from a different paper. The music company is concerned about the security of its website. The company uses a proxy server as part of its security system. Question is, describe the role of a proxy server in this system. So 4 marks are on offer, and we need to think about the points that we're going to make for this question to make sure that we secure all 4 of those marks. So I guess the key point to make initially is that a proxy server sits in front of the main server. If that's the proxy server and that's the main server, and this is the internet traffic coming in, the proxy server sits in front. So we want to, I guess, talk about the fact that the proxy server sits between the server or servers and the user. Who's trying to access it. So traffic, of course, is examined. The traffic can be examined by the proxy server, and it can filter this by proxy and can be filtered. So any suspicious looking packets can be destroyed. Deep packet inspection can be looked at. So various techniques can be looked at that point. So it's not done by the main server, which may contain the web pages or files that are which will be requested. So obviously, if the traffic is okay, as in the data request, then the web server can be accessed. So it's a bit like having a doorman sort of thing at a nightclub or a bar, somebody there just to kind of check on the people coming in and, yep, you can go through, or no, you can't. And of course, these requests can be blocked from certain IP addresses. So this kind of filtering here and checking, can be blocked by IP address. And obviously one of the key roles here is that if certainly like a distributed denial of service attack, a sort of a DDoS attack, it happens, it obviously may knock over the proxy server rather than the server itself, causing less harm, ready to get that back up and running. So it's worth mentioning that is a key sort of architectural point of a proxy, is that, should an attack be launched, such as a DDoS, a distributed denial of service attack, be launched, and it can, it's the one that takes the hits in terms of the requests. This takes the hit, so it sort of aids. It's sort of an in-between to prevent that. Now, next question is an easier type of question in terms of matching up. So we'll start down with a security term. So this is a simple match statement. So encryption. So that is scrambling data, of course. So it's hopefully nonsensical if it's intercepted between A and B. SSL, secure socket layer. This is this one here, which provides a secure connection between a web browser and a web server or websites allowing the secure transmission of data. So there's some more information on that earlier on in terms of how that works. Farming, this one here is the second one down. This is what we talked about earlier in this video. Malicious code that is installed, so the malware that's installed without the user being aware, and it redirects the user to a fake website if they go there. Next one, phishing, which we looked at, which is a legitimate looking email with the same sort of intent, the same intended outcome as farming, trying to get you to go to some fake website. It's of course easy to copy HTML code off a website, copy the images and graphics and make it look legit. So do remember to look at the top URL address bar and look for those key features to make sure that you are going to the right place. And obviously if you're not sure, don't go. Firewall, of course, this uses rules. It could be hardware or software set up to prevent the network and to prevent access in and out of the network. A proxy server, which we looked at, we talked about, it's sort of like the gatekeeper that sits in between the web browser and the internet, and that of course is 6 marks.